Hi, Toastmaster Art here with another educational presentation on the Toastmaster Art YouTube channel. This time it is going to be the Sergeant at Arms Club Officer Training Breakout Session. First, a little bit about me. My name is Arthur Farnsworth, currently serving as club secretary or club treasurer for the two clubs of which I am a member. I have at this point served in each of the club officer positions, though not as sergeant at arms, for a few years. I have been an area director, and I was the director of Division G in the Go G days back in 2016. Welcome to the Sergeant at Arms breakout session of today's club officer training. The purpose of this session is to help sergeants at arms understand their role in the Toastmasters Club. Congratulations on your election. As the sergeant at arms of your club, you ensure that meetings are well run and you set the tone for an organized, successful meeting. Let us get started. Here is what we will be looking at today: the 3 R's. No, not reading and writing and arithmetic, but role, responsibilities, and resources. Those of you who know me know that I'm a big fan of the third R, resources. And this presentation joins a host of other resources on the Toastmaster Art YouTube channel. Here are our session's objectives. First, you'll be able to identify your role within the club. Next, you'll learn how to fulfill your responsibilities within the club and the club executive committee. And lastly, I'm going to help you find resources that help you fulfill your responsibilities. Detailed information about your role can be found in the Club Leadership Handbook. We will see how to obtain that near the end of the presentation. In essence, your responsibilities are two: manage club property and make sure everything is ready for a successful meeting. Here is the club constitution's definition of your role as sergeant at arms. You can see here that you're responsible for club property management, meeting room preparation, and hospitality. The sergeant at arms chairs the club's social and reception committee. This is a somewhat short definition, but there are many responsibilities that make up the day-to-day activities of a sergeant at arms. We are going to take a look at those now. Your sergeant at arms responsibilities fall into 3 categories: the club meeting, outside the club meeting, and the club executive committee. We will start by exploring your club meeting responsibilities. Your club meeting responsibilities are split into 4 time frames: before club meetings, upon arrival at club meetings, during club meetings, and after club meetings. We will get to the last one a bit later in this presentation. Confirm meeting room reservations a few days before the meeting. I should have you note here that this is going to vary from club to club. For example, a corporate club might not be in the same conference room for each meeting, and thus arrangements will have to be confirmed and far enough in advance to provide adequate notice to members and guests. My one community club gets bounced around a bit if there is a special event and the hosting organization needs the auditorium, our regular meeting space. The point here is to make sure you know where you will be meeting. Second point here: ensuring there are club supplies on hand means performing an inventory thereof on a periodic basis. Here are the first 2 pages of the club property supplies inventory sheet PDF fill-in form that I developed for my home club. It is stored on our free Toast Host system for easy access by the sergeant at arms. Conducting an inventory allows you to coordinate with the club treasurer and other officers to replenish supplies which are running low. First, you will want to arrive at the meeting place about 30 minutes in advance to get things set up. Corporate clubs may not have this luxury. having instead to rush into the meeting space with little time to spare after the previous occupants have left. In general, though, a last minute sergeant at arms is an ineffective sergeant at arms because pre meeting setup is important. Set up tables and chairs as appropriate. Again, this is another aspect which will vary based on a club's preferences or perhaps the fixed furniture layout in a conference room. Try to have a welcome table on which you place meeting materials such as the agenda, ballot slips, name tags, guest book, and promotional materials for first time guests. Allow me to share with you visually these aspects at my home club. Here you can see how we set up tables and chairs. Sometimes it's one row of tables and chairs with a separate row of chairs in front of the tables. The tables are primarily for those meeting participants who need a writing surface, but our meeting role instruction sheets are laminated so that, for example, the ah counter can be seated not at a table and still be able to have a firm writing surface for her ah counter's log. Here is a photograph from our meeting greeter guide of the club's welcome table. Club charter, name tags, agendas, guest book, and meeting role description cards are all ready for action. Check the room temperature and adjust it if the room is too hot or too cold. Ask all guests to sign the guest book or guest sheet and give each guest a name tag to wear during the meeting. At my home club, our meeting greeter handles this first task, though it might be your responsibility at your club, in which case you should be logically seated near the door. For the second point, if your club offers refreshments at meetings, ensuring that those are ordered and in place is your responsibility. My home club added a refreshments volunteer position so that members could sign up to handle the food and drink we like to have during our mid-meeting break. The third point here is, yet again, club specific. Some clubs have a dedicated vote counter role. Absent that, though, and of course, if your club votes for best whatever, you will handle the ballot collection and tally process. The tasks here are self-explanatory. Leave the room as you found it, and make sure that you stow properly your club supplies. Some clubs have the luxury of storing their supplies on site, while others require the sergeant at arms to bring the supplies home with her. My home club purchased 2 supply tubs from the office supply store. In one, we keep the loose supplies like clappers, gavel, tape, timing paddles, etc. And in the other one, we have hanging folders, as you can see here, in which to store all of our paperwork, like worksheets and logs, award ribbons, guest packet materials, and the like. Let us continue by considering the list of things you are expected to do outside or between club meetings. Schedule the meeting location. Not much to do here unless you bounce from conference room to conference room as a corporate club. The second item here harkens back to the supplies inventory we looked at earlier. Although members should be encouraged to bring with them worksheets and logs, having a few on hand for last-minute assignments is prudent. Also, make sure your equipment, such as audio-visual gear and timing device, is working. Third point, attend club executive committee meetings. Here are the last 2 list items. If you are unable to attend the next meeting, ensure someone can serve in your stead and has access to the club supplies. If your supplies are not stored on site, that person will have to bring them home with her today and bring them to the next meeting. With regard to assistance, at my home club, members who arrive early typically help the sergeant at arms set up the room. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Toward the end of your term, and this applies to all officer positions, request the opportunity, perhaps through the Vice President of Education, to have a spot on the agenda where you can share with members your duties. Someone needs to step in, and your likelihood of finding a successor is greater if members are informed. Now that we have looked at your club meeting responsibilities, let us turn our attention to your club executive committee responsibilities. Keep the club executive committee updated on the status of the club meeting space, notifying them of any changes regarding meeting space, size, or cost. Work with the VPE and VPPR to coordinate meeting space for speech contests or special events. If your club has a social and a reception committee, you are that committee chairperson. Work with the club secretary and club treasurer to order replacement items if needed. Your supplies inventory will help here, and hopefully your club prepares and implements an annual budget to ensure funds to purchase supplies. See my club treasurer training video for more on the budget. This is the club executive committee agenda template that I use at my home club. It is based on experience as secretary of Toastmasters clubs, a political party, and parliamentary procedure. You can see here where you as Sergeant at Arms share your report as part of the officer's reports section. The action plan, as I see it, is a way to get you to consider 4 important aspects of each of your responsibilities. How will you fulfill this responsibility? What specific actions will you complete? When will each action need to be completed? Who is available to help you? And what materials and resources can you use? There are several resources available to help you in your role as Sergeant at Arms. Let us take a look. First point, attend club officer training twice each year. Second, download the club leadership handbook and review your section. Part of the transition from one year to the next is to ensure smooth continuity. Talk with your outgoing and incoming teams to make sure that happens. Introduce yourself to the liaison for the meeting space and know, for example, where rent payments must be sent. Share that with the club treasurer. If there's a problem with your meeting space, you need to know who to call to report it, and it ain't Ghostbusters. As I suggested 5 slides ago, do not be too shy to ask for help. Lugging supply bins to and from your car and meeting room setup and breakdown go more quickly with more hands helping. Highlighted in yellow are resources available from Toastmasters International, although their links do not work and I have not yet received working versions from them. I suggest you simply do a search at the Toastmasters International site for the first and third items using the search string I have provided, since I was able to find items 1111 and 163 in that manner. Additional resources can be found in the Club Leadership Handbook, which is item 1310 in the Sergeant at Arms section. This video joins others in the Club Officer Training series on the Toastmaster Art YouTube channel. As we wrap up, consider a few things. 1, never underestimate your role as Sergeant at Arms. Setting the tone for the club meeting, preparing the room, greeting members, and recruiting volunteers demonstrates competent leadership skills. 2, be sure to work closely with the club executive committee to achieve distinguished club status. You are a key member of the team. 3, Serving as Sergeant at Arms improves your organizational skills and gives you the opportunity to practice running successful meetings. You will learn to delegate and be more detail oriented. That concludes this presentation. I hope that you have found it helpful. Please feel free to post below any suggestions or comments that you might have. Good luck in your term as Sergeant at Arms. Make it a great Toastmasters day, and thank you for watching.